So the first one, we're gonna start with how's life? Specifically, like, what do you mean how's life?
Well, it's been hectic for the past couple of weeks. You know,
Yeah,
a lot of people deal with mental health issues and other things like just life stressors in general.
yeah,
You understand? And so I'm here though.
yeah,
Pressure make diamonds. You know what I mean? So I'm here. I'm looking forward to. God is good all the time. You know what I mean?
yeah.
So I'm looking for better things to come.
Right.
Yeah.
Do you feel like so that question? That's such a
General.
general
Yes,
question,
sir.
but at the same time, it's a very pinpointing, harsh question because it makes you think about everything. There could even be things that are going on in your life that we haven't even discussed that come up when you hear like how's life, right? So my question is for you, how's life? How is it spiritually?
Oh,
Because
shit.
the reason why I'm saying that because we talked about how your son sent you something
Yes,
and he
sir.
sent you 12,
Yes.
right? So can you share that with what we were talking about
Oh
before?
yeah. He sent me this preacher that was talking about like if Jesus had an Instagram and he only had 12, would that be a success or failure
Mm.
in people's eyes? Just having 12 followers.
If he
You know what
had
I'm
12 followers.
saying?
Okay.
Yes. But the impact he had on the world goes beyond those 12 that you see. So it's
Right.
not all about what you see in front of the cameras or anything like that. It's what you do behind the scenes, how you live your life, your legacy, your character when no one's looking. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
you understand. So that's why.
Yeah. But
How's life for you though?
oh man, that's a crazy question. I would say this, we talked a little bit about it. I've had to deal with stuff with my business. I had to deal with stuff with my family life. I got some news from the doctor about my son that I was dealing with. My daughter now is changing her mind from wanting to stay in Mississippi. Now she wants to come down here and train and play basketball and get a job for the summer.
Wow.
It's a lot of different things that's happening with me this week. And this week, I would say it's probably been the hardest week I've had in a long time. And I've definitely had my faith in everything I worked for tested this week, right? I feel like I finally got some decent news, which is Saturday, which is today. But, and I don't want to say the normal cliche thing like, oh, you got to push harder, you got to grind, you got to pray, you got to do these things. I would say the only thing that really helped me this week, and me and you discussed that, was like straight fasting, man.
Yes.
Like fasting, trying to remove everything that I can that's
Yes.
not for me. And that's the hardest thing to do, bro. Even like the food I've been eating, I've been trying to, eat the right things.
Yeah.
And I'm like, dang, if I can't get myself to eat the right things, how am I going to change my business and change my family and change my family tree all at the same time? If I can't do that one simple thing.
See, that's also the crazy thing is like I've been trying to fast 24 hours, 48 hours, and
That's
beyond.
crazy, dude.
I've been trying to do that beyond, but I fall
crazy.
short every time. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I started off with 8, then went to 12 hours. You understand? And then I went to 16 hours.
That's crazy.
Then I went to 18 hours. But the clarity of your mind gets better.
Yeah.
And I still need to do that because some things is only delivered through prayer and fasting.
Yeah.
So, and that's why it's so hard to do, man.
Yeah. And so when he says fasting, he means he's not eating anything, just drinking water. Just drinking water. Dude, I don't know. I don't know, man.
So
It's been rough.
I was listening to something that said instead of looking to achieve stuff,
Mm-hmm.
Try to be it. You know what I mean? Be
Right.
the person that you, for that position or for that job, for that thing that you desire to be, you know? So
Well, our time's up, but explain a little bit more depth what you mean by that, like
like
being
like if you want to be give me an example. You want to be a Instagram vlogger or
yeah,
something. Be that person that people would want to follow as a vlogger. You know what I mean? Like
right,
get your mind right, get your relationship right,
yeah,
get right with God,
yeah,
eat right, do all of that to be that person in that position.
right.
You know what I'm saying? So
Makes a lot of sense.
that's all I was saying. You know what I mean?
Okay,
So
no, sounds
understand.
good. All right, let's go on to topic number 2. Topic number 2 is lessons learned. Lessons learned.
It kind of goes along with what we were talking
Yeah,
about. You understand?
yeah.
So, lesson learned is like your circle
Mm.
got to be the right people, dog.
Bro.
You know what I mean? You
Yeah,
understand? It's got to be the right people, and it doesn't matter how many it is.
yeah,
You know, you just need that. To be honest with you, you only need that faithful few, those in the same mindset and same goals,
yeah,
same intentions. Don't tell everybody your business
yeah,
or your next move. You know what I mean?
yeah.
So that's why I was telling you, like, I met this, I didn't meet him, but I went to his house, this African dude named Sammy,
Mhm.
last night. And he said, man, all I do is work out, go home to the family. And I was like, that's the type of guy that I need around me. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
because then he's not doing extra stuff and all that. His focus is
Yeah.
smaller.
Yeah.
Aim small, miss small.
Mm.
Dancing with Wolves, remember? Aim small. Miss
Absolutely.
Small. Was that Dancing with Wolves? I don't know.
I
It's
don't know.
it was one of those movies. You know what I mean? You understand?
Yeah.
So
No, I understand that. Definitely, and your circle is very, very important. I understand it too as well. And I would say with that, like, I just learned the biggest thing for me is trying to bring people with me that were literally supposed to be like in my life for us like a season.
yes,
Right.
yes.
And I hate that, oh, there's seasons and this and that. But what I mean by that is like just say me and you, for example, there was a time when me and him didn't even talk at all.
No.
Now, and it wasn't because I didn't like him or vice versa. We just were just doing two different things. Now it's like if we don't speak or say something within 1 or 2 days, we're like, bro, what's up? You all right? You good? Everything's good? It's because I think we're on the same, like you said, we're on the same type of time. But like you said, I think it's a critical thing just realizing like you're always like the sum of the people that you hang around. I know that now. I see that. Like no matter what, like if you're working out and I'm not, I'm going to naturally want to work out because you're doing that and I'm around you.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And I always felt kind of weird like saying, yeah, we're gonna be hanging out, going over here. We're gonna be doing this, or there's a party here, or just, and not necessarily a party, just getting together with multiple people.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes I'm like, nah, I gotta work. I gotta do this. I gotta do that. And I didn't do it because I know that opens the door up to other things, and then wanting to do that more. Then, oh, I had a fun time going to pool here. Let me go to the beach in Mobile, or let me do this, or let me do that. And it was just kind of throwing me off from the things that I needed to focus on, you can say. Another big lesson for me, though, I would say, is I learned with myself that as much as money is important, money is not going to change who you really are. It's only going to amplify what the person that you already are, right? And I know people have said that before, but there are some habits that I had that was bad, right? And me having money or not having money, it definitely amplified those habits, you know. I'll just give you an example. Like I used to, from being a nightclub promoter, I used to drink a lot because I was always out.
Mhm.
And then having more money allows me to buy more liquor or top shelf liquor or whatever it is, right? And I realized like the money is really only supposed to be a temporary passing from me to whoever else needs it or vice versa, right? And I can't idolize over money, if that makes sense, right? And having a boatload of it because it's only amplifying the things that are negative in me. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
So I know that was kind of all over the place.
No,
right?
no, that's good because there's this thing where this experiment where they gave a lot of money to a poor person, and after a year or so, they spent it all, or was in the hospital because they tried to kill themselves or whatever stuff, and then they took away millionaires' money, and he ended up
getting it back,
getting the business or making his way towards it. You know,
Yeah.
you understand? So it doesn't matter if you have $1 million. It's if you have $1 million mindset.
Correct.
And so,
Yeah, 100%. 100%. Yep. All right. So next we got music and entertainment. So what's up with your music? When is the album dropping, man? Like,
probably, you understand, probably not dropping an album,
Okay.
probably singles here and there, you know what I mean? So,
okay.
so-
What do you agree or not what do you agree? What do you think about the new way people are promoting music? Because we've literally gone back and forth sometimes and I'm like, bro, like make songs that are 2 minutes long, 1 minute long, no chorus, no hook, just rap, do your verse, make it fly, and let's put it out. Or single basic videos. Like how do you feel? How do you really feel about a lot of that
Like,
stuff?
I'm willing to change, to try different stuff, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whatever works, like, because you know how many songs I got, you know what I mean? So
A million.
I mean, I could try different stuff and see what works. I will never know because I need to, like, God expand my mind and my mind state and show me things that I'd never known,
Right.
you know, or hesitated to go through.
Right.
So it's like, yeah, man, that's why, you know, I just want to just like, hey, set up a camera, let's do this, and then it'll see what it works. You know what I
Right.
mean? You understand? So
Yeah.
that's how it is. But
Oh, hold on. I ain't even started.
that's okay.
The timer. We got an extra 5 minutes. I'm
That's
gonna do
okay.
it again anyway.
Yeah. Anyway, so we could do it on the entertainment part. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't have to be necessarily my music. You know what I mean?
No,
Speaking
but
of that,
I wanted to say that because
know me through my music.
Ricky, what's up, Ricky?
Ricky, know me through music.
Yeah,
You can find Six Trumpet on Instagram, Facebook.
I like that.
Yeah,
like
he's
that.
doing some things over there in Cali. you know,
Yeah.
so.
Hey, Ricky, I need some more merch. Let's do some type
Hey,
of
Ricky,
deal.
I need
Let's
some
do
more
something.
merch. You know what I mean? So
Let's do something.
You got my address. You know, you can overnight it anytime. You
Yeah.
know?
So entertainment wise, I know you don't really watch a lot of TV,
Not anymore.
right? And I know our next topic is sports, but this is kind of related towards sports, right? So we're gonna talk about it twice. Do you know the reason why I like watching sports? What do you think?
I'm gonna tell you
Why do you think I like?
because you can't play it no more.
No, no, I can still play. I just look this way. I can still play. The reason why I like sports is because I love like the NBA, right? There's, I don't know, 400 people in the league, whatever.
Okay.
And even though there's people that are sitting on the bench that never play, never get in, they will destroy the average person playing basketball, right? And it takes a lot to get there. But the most important thing that I like about sports is when they lose. I like hearing them talk after they lose because you never hear them say, oh, I don't know what I'm gonna do. It's terrible. It's so hard. It's blah blah blah. They're like, we got to get better at this. We got to do better at that. We're gonna move on. We're gonna go to the next game, and this is what we're gonna do differently. They almost always say that, right? It's never I'm gonna quit because they understand it's a long game. You know what I'm saying? It's not just one game. You're not defined by
It's
that.
a season.
It's a season.
It's not just a game.
Exactly. Right. And I like hearing that mindset as much as sometimes I'm like, dang, my team lost. I love hearing that mindset. But then I also like hearing when a superstar, somebody does well, a lot of the times they don't even talk about themselves. Even if you don't like the person or not. They're like, oh, yeah, I had this, but it was my teammates that set me up to do this. It was this to do that, this to do that. And I just love hearing their mindset.
That's a good
About
point.
sports.
I never even realized that, but
Yeah.
it's true. Once I think back, you understand that, wow, they were like, yeah. And they have to forget. They have amnesia about the
Instantly.
game. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
just go the next day or the next week,
Mm-hmm.
do what they need to do. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So,
absolutely. You, do you feel like you playing sports or just entertainment wise in general, you were in the music industry since you were early. Did you feel like that helped with your decision making and your life experiences? It helped you now? Do you feel like you put more of that into play than you would schooling?
I did.
Like you felt like the thing that you learned in playing sports and in entertainment, you
Was
use more in life than
more
school.
in life. Yeah. I did.
Why would you say that?
I mean,
That's a big thing to say.
yeah,
More than
you know what I mean? Like sports showed you who you are. You know what I mean? So where you had to be, what stuff you had to do. You know what I mean? It's like when we was running track, and when I was running track, we would practice 10 hours a week, and then when it was time for the meet, the race lasted 10 seconds.
pretty much.
So a whole week of working out just to run a race that's 10 seconds.
Correct.
So it showed me like a lot of stuff, like I said before, is behind the scenes
Mm-hmm.
that you have to work with.
Yeah.
You have to do stuff behind the scenes, not in front of people.
Yeah.
It's not fun all the time. It's concentration, it's strength training and all of that just to get to that race.
Right.
You understand?
I understand
So-
that. Wow. That's deep. And by the way, I hated track practice. By the way.
But I played more sports than track, but I was using that example. But
Yeah.
I'm not proud of my basketball days. I was kind of like rowdy,
But you know what the funny thing about it is? Your style of play wasn't idolized and people didn't realize how good and how valuable that was back then. But now people like that, like you literally play like a Draymond Green or Dennis Rodman or something like that. You don't score a lot of points.
nah.
And the stat sheet won't show everything that you're doing. And you're undersized, but you could guard every position.
Nah, I don't care who they were.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And you're the enforcer. If you don't have an enforcer, y'all soft. Y'all getting picked on. That's what you always do. You like, I want to bang down low. I want to bang down low. I want to guard the biggest person. I'm like, this dude's crazy. For some reason, he's crazy. All right, cool. We're gonna go to sports. The reason why I wanted to talk about sports was because there's a situation that's happening with LeBron James and his son, Bronny James, right? The reason why I want to talk about this as well is because we're both fathers and we both have sons,
Yes.
right? So LeBron James, a long story short, he's never really spoke out and really lashed at people in the media or had something to say with them. And Stephen A. Smith says stuff all the time about everybody. He's very popular for doing that. This one particular time he said something about LeBron James' son, something about LeBron being a father and pretty much mismanaging, I'm assuming mismanaging fatherhood and his son and not setting his son up correctly. So during a timeout in a game, he left the huddle and went to him and said, bro, I don't care. That's the short version. I don't care. Leave my son out of it during a game. He didn't wait till after the game. All the cameras was rolling, everything. And you can just read his lip. And he's never done that before.
He went to Stephen A. Smith?
He went to Stephen A. Smith on
In
the
the crowd.
sideline.
Wow.
On the crowd, which he was like 3-4 seats from the actual huddle during a timeout and said that, right? So my question to you is, us having boys and having sons, number one, how hard do you feel like it is raising young men? And number two, what would be your advice to me having 3 boys?
Okay.
One is
Yeah.
not even 3 years old yet.
All I can say is do the best you can, because they're going to find something that you didn't do right. You're going to find something that you didn't do right, but just do it the best you can. They say you make 7,000 decisions in a day. Like, what am I going to wear? Am I going this way, that way, whatever. Just make most of them a positive one,
Got it.
the more negative one. There's no handbook on how to raise your sons. You know what I mean? And once you'd be telling me that story about LeBron James, that was something I would have did.
You would have did the same thing.
That's why I said you don't know.
Yeah.
When I say sports, I was rowdy. I probably would have did more than that.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But you don't want to embarrass your son
Right.
either.
Right.
You know, your legacy. Nowadays, everything is on camera
Correct.
and it's history.
Correct.
It don't go away, man.
Yeah.
It don't go away. They'll always remember that or replay it, even
Right.
though you might be past it and all that.
Right.
So you got to think ahead of your decision making. You got to think ahead of seeing if this is the right thing to do. Am I in my feelings right now, or you know? So for you and your sons, just ask God for guidance, honestly, and figure out how God the Father treated His children, and try to go off that example.
So,
You understand?
so my thing is, and I'm be honest, when you're saying ask God for guidance, it's hard to ask God for guidance when I'm still trying to recognize when God is even speaking to me, bro. Like so I'm not saying I don't. I do all the time. Like I don't even know if my book, the prayer book that my mom gave me, right? I've been reading, going over that every day. But how can I ask someone for guidance when I don't even know what they sound like? When I'm still trying to learn if he's even speaking to me or not, being honest. So being honest, sometimes when it comes to critical things like that, sometimes I don't ask God because I feel like if I don't hear him, I don't want to resent or not believe in him as much. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I'm being 100% honest with you. Yeah.
So usually, how you can tell is God. There's a confirmation somewhere.
Okay.
It says in the scriptures, it says 2 or 3. There's confirmation.
Right.
So it could be someone in the store that says something to you that, dang, that was
Related to whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It could be me talking to you.
Yeah.
You know, and sometimes God uses the people that are here and the things that are here, you know, to
Right.
talk to you.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's not always a voice that you hear and that inner voice, because you could say in your head right now, you could say, I am Superman. What that sound like?
Right. Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. No, I understand.
So it's hard to decipher what between your voice, your emotions, and God.
Yeah.
But like I said, should always be confirmation.
Right.
You know what I mean? Always confirmation of what you say or what you think. Like, and sometimes there's there's three answers to yes, no, or wait.
Wait. I hear wait a lot. I'm assuming. Yes, I understand that. Wait, no, a lot. Okay.
We could go deep into that.
I know.
But,
That we might need to have that as a whole topic.
Yeah,
one time.
I mean,
Just that
yeah.
as a whole topic one time. All right, last thing we're gonna go over random. Is there something random? Or no. Let's keep talking about what we were talking about, right? I feel like I hear wait a lot. But I also feel like I don't feel like I'm doing enough to get to the point where I do hear his voice or see a sign, because I don't know what is enough, right? Even if I'm reading the scripture, I can only comprehend it as much as I can comprehend it.
Correct.
Right? So it's like a lot of times, bro, I don't even know I don't know what to do. It's like I'm this age and I'm starting all the way over again in the beginning stages.
So God does not have time. He doesn't work in time. We do. So it doesn't matter what stage you think you're in. As long as you ask God, let me give you an example. Like Peter was on the boat and he saw Jesus walking on the water. Remember that? And he said, if that's you, allow me to come out there.
Right.
Jesus said one word, come. And so sometimes when we listen for God's voice, we're looking for a whole bunch of words. Or like on TV, a thunderstorm.
Yeah.
And it could be a soft voice that says, come. We need to quiet our minds. That's why it's good to fast and all that. We need to quiet our minds and get into place. So we often pray, God, could you do this? And we don't sit and listen for an answer. We say amen, and that's it, and then go about our thing, and not even sit and wait for an answer to come.
You're right. I've never done that before. Wow. You're right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We live in a world that is instant this. Oh, shoot. I don't know what's going on. Chat GPT. Google. I don't know. So things come quick, and then we expect God to move that way. But God works in a different way than we work down here. So, just know that we have to quiet ourselves and just listen. There's plenty of people in the Bible that were sitting on the side of the road. The African was sitting on the side of the road. Like, I don't understand what I'm reading. Till somebody had to come along and teach them. Sometimes we don't know, you understand, by ourselves. We need other people to teach us. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, hey, this is what I'm reading. This is what I'm going through. But people don't understand that you go through stuff to let other people help other people that are going to be in that situation. It's not always for us that we having these questions, problems. There's nothing wrong. The Bible says, seek the kingdom of God, seek God and all of that. Seek means like look. And so when you looking, you might looking, if you've lost something and you're looking for it, man, I'm looking behind the computer, under the
everywhere.
chair. You're looking everywhere.
Yeah.
It doesn't just come to you.
Right.
You know what I mean? Just keep looking and have your spiritual ears and eyes open to hear what's going on.
Okay. It's easier said than done.
It is.
It's so hard.
It
to
is,
do, bro.
It's discipline.
It's so hard.
It's discipline, but at the end of the day, what do you want? If anything that you want, you're gonna work to get to it.
Correct.
You want to be a millionaire. Are you there yet?
No.
How long you wanted to be a millionaire?
For a long time.
For a long time.
For a
You hear
long
what I'm
time.
saying? So, but you're doing that the steps and process to
Correct.
get there.
Yeah.
And that's your goal.
Right.
Understand? So that should still be your goal. And it's hard steps.
Yeah.
Look at me. I told you I was trying to fast.
Yeah.
Like 24, 48, trying to fast.
Yeah.
And
That's hard.
I had to do it in steps. 8, 12, 16, 18. I'm going to get there, though.
Yeah.
So.
Thanks, man. That's the time, bro. Appreciate you.
No problem, man.
All
Got to
right.
do this often. Let's see how this works. You know what I mean?
We got to do it again. Definitely.